Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back here on Daily Evolutions. Hope you can hear me properly. But this is a channel where we focus on holistic improvement every single day. We're trying to evolve, whether it be on an emotional level, a spiritual level, mental level, or even physical level. But the point is to evolve holistically. Now, first of all, if you haven't already, please like my video and subscribe if you can. I would like to apologize for the first video. I realized that it was dark. After the fact, after posting, I also realized that the sound was fucking shit, to say the least. But just so you know, I'm learning as I go, learning on the job, man. Everything I'm doing right now is just off a hunch, feeling like this is the right thing to do right now. I'm trying to come here as myself, here uncut, chilled, no extra gimmicks, nothing for the cameras, man. I want to show up here as my authentic self, and I hope that you guys actually appreciate that, recognize it first of all. Now, I already said my apology for that first video. Thank you for the ones who still watched and actually were brave enough and honest enough to give me that feedback, although it was self-explanatory. I just felt that I had to put that video out there instead of waiting for that perfect moment where everything just falls into place, where I miraculously have figured out my editing, miraculously I figured out how to make transitions smooth, cut videos, all of that, and I haven't. So I'm just showing up as I am. Yeah. Now we ended off the last video with me just explaining to everyone how I even ended up at the point where I decided that fuck, enough is enough. You need to turn around your whole, let me put it as a lifestyle. It's your life, but the way you do that is through your lifestyle, right? Your habits. And all of that, as I was explaining, transitioning from high school to varsity, being away from home, being in a foreign environment, external influences, though I could never blame external influences. I feel like you always have the choice. That's a big part of my philosophy. In order to keep the power, in order to really do anything in your life, you can't be blaming it on other people. You can't ultimately put the power on them, because no matter what influences there are, the ultimate choice is with you, really. And I think everyone can agree to that, eh? I actually hope so. So yeah, along with that transformation, the whole fitness transformation, that's just one aspect of it. That's physical. Now, I don't know how many of the viewers on here have actually started, or at some point in their lives have gone on a prolonged fitness journey, so to speak. But one thing that I've realized throughout the time, so let me show you guys my crusty hair all the way. Need to get a haircut. I'll do that soon. But back to the point. It's just, I don't know how many of you who have been on this fitness journey have realized that although you might initially start for the physical benefits, everyone, like, I'll bring it back to myself. Shit, I was like, looking in the mirror, like, damn, nigga, you really let yourself like fall off like that? Like, really? And at that point, it was all physical. Like, yo, I need to look better. I want to attract the kind of person that I feel I deserve into my life. I want to be comfortable just doing the ordinary tasks. There's an advert on TV here in South Africa that says, "Life is a gym." It's some insurance company ad, but although it's a joke, it turns out to be true. All the little things, you need the energy throughout the day. You need your mobility. You need your focus, whatever it is, your stamina in other areas, But that's all the physical aspects, as I've already spoken about. Well, one thing that I realized throughout, as I said, when I did start on this journey, maybe I should switch off here, like veer off a little bit. It's somewhat related. But in order for me to even get the knowledge that I needed to slowly, first of all, lose a little bit of weight, add a little bit of muscle. What I needed to do was really follow and listen to, subscribe to, if you would, to different methodologies, but people online, pages, completely different pages than what I was before, because my news feed, no matter what, Facebook, for example, was already accustomed to and designed to the old habits, you know. So I'd search, you know what I mean. The algorithms give you ultimately what you've been focusing on, right? Sorry. So when I did decide that, okay, I need to just find out who I can actually learn from. Where do I go? And what I did is just like a bunch of fitness pages, a bunch of um, bodybuilders, bunch of these fitness programs in general, just to get nutritional advice, just to see how these people live their lives when they do the exercise. How do they eat? Yeah, how do they train in general? Because I had gotten some knowledge in high school, but what if you don't practice, it kind of just fades away into the background. So I had to bring it back to the forefront. And the point I'm trying to make is for any one of you who now feels like, whoa, I'm so far away from that, I don't even know where to go and look right now. Where do I start? I would say, in this day and age, everyone has a phone at least, I'm filming this with my laptop, but I mean, phone, phone, laptop, whatever it is, we're connected to the internet in some way, shape, or form. So I would just say, make a radical change in terms of what you are consuming. By consuming, I mean content online, obviously. Because ultimately, the algorithms are going to then recognize that and start shooting you back, what you have been focusing on. You'll get more pages that are aligned with your new found interest, habit, journey. And that's where it started for me. But along the way, when you do get some physical gains, I've actually slimmed down a lot over the last month or so, but intentionally so. But sorry, the point is, once you do get your physical gains or your physical results, that's if you're at a point where you're suffering with, I didn't mention this, but at my time during university in Cape Town, I didn't realize it at the time, but throughout, I realized that, whoa, I am actually developing depression and anxiety. Now, these were not things that, first of all, spoken about in a black or colored home in South Africa. It's just, these are sort of issues that we're used to and we're accustomed to just sweeping it under the rug. But the reasoning for that is we're almost taught from a young age that, yo, you have to be strong. You grow up in a family where the father is perhaps not there. Be strong. That's how it is. Grow up faster. That's the solution. It's not go and speak to someone. How does that impact you? So the same thing for a number of other ills that actually plague our youth. And the problem is just that there's normally not a positive, recognized outlet for them to go to. And in the end, if that doesn't lead to substance abuse alone, it combines substance abuse with just an escape into the mind, essentially, which is building up of whatever already is there, and we know that that's toxic. We know that you have to let go of whatever the issue might be. We know that, but the point I'm making is that was never, and things are changing now, but that was never ingrained or drilled into us. So even though I had come from, a pretty good high school, man, pretty good schooling, uh, systems in general, different high schools, it still wasn't really something that, well, mental health specifically, sorry for not being specific, but it still wasn't really something that I was aware of, like how pervasive it is. At least, it's always because of how we grew up. We always think that whoever does have issues, like it's a thing of other. It's always outside. It could never be me. Um, yeah, it's those people there. Um, but since the dialogue at varsity is a lot different. Varsity, sorry, college, for the ones who are not from South Africa here. The dialogue is a lot more different. It's a lot more open there. Um, I needed that. At first, I thought, oh, all these kids are just trying to make a big deal out of nothing. Because like I said, at first, I didn't even realize it's something that could affect me. But I lived with someone in my first year, white lady, amazing lady, Nina Menzing. Um, yeah, instead of staying in like a dorm or res, as we call it here, I got accepted late as a result of some technicality with converting my results. Not really important for the story, but amazing lady. Luckily, I got a room in her house and lived with her and her son. But I hope that she doesn't mind me sharing that she's pretty open. But she herself has had problems with, I think, depression and anxiety, or just depression. But no, yeah, both. But she was very open, and she's also another person who, at the time, unknowingly to me, just was changing my perspective of this, like sparking conversation, at least, and put it that way. I needed that. I think we all do. Yeah, I've been on this now for a long time, but the point is just realizing then, whoa, this whole change in lifestyle, the breakup that I've gotten out of, being away from my family, the pressure of varsity, drinking a lot, smoking, was putting my body under strain. Now, I wasn't even combining that with any sort of good diet or exercise, so you can imagine that my mind was just, wrecked. I was not here, man. Anyway, I'm back, and that's more important. But I have to be honest about where I'm coming from, so you understand that why this is so important for me to actually share, and talk about. But so now, moving on, along with the physical healing, I would call it, which is exercise and eating healthy, I realized that I needed to be more in tune with my spiritual side. Now, when I say spirituality, I mean that broader than just religion. I was brought up a Christian. I still believe in God, but as a result of all the other religions and value systems, belief systems I was exposed to, I've I still believe in God, but just my understanding of that is very different from what, to say, conventional Christian here in South Africa might believe. Um, so, yeah, and so when I speak about spirituality, it's going beyond just God. It's about, just the all-encompassing your spiritual health. Are you having positive thoughts? How do you feel inside? Are you warm? Are you free? First of all, like, I say free as opposed to being enslaved in chains of bondage. Now, one thing that was enslaving me for a long time was actually pornography. I lost my virginity at a young age, so that combined with a very free-spirited environment where I was, like when I moved from South Africa in an international school where everyone was just doing the most, man. Like by 15, 16, I was surprised, and I fell into it, and I liked it actually, because I was brought up as a Christian, very restricted environment in your whole school. Most people believe the same things. It's just very rigid rules. But over there, it was like, no one can tell us shit, man. We're gonna do whatever we want to do. Parties, drinking on the weekends. Can you imagine 15, 16-year-olds in India? This is, and yeah. So the point I'm making is, my mind got corrupted by the idea of a woman's genitalia, private parts, and the arousal that comes with that. So that was already ingrained in my mind at a young age. Now, I see sex or anything like that as a drug. Sorry if I'm not speaking loud enough. It's just that I got, you know, clearly outside, family and everyone around. But yeah, hope you can all hear me properly. But anyway, so as anyone knows, as any drug as sex is, you take it and you sort of want more. Like it's never ending, and that's one of the reasons why I don't think you should start at a young age. Of course, there are some benefits for me, in my perspective. I'm starting at a young age, and it's just having this, yeah, learning and making mistakes early. Not big mistakes too, like pregnancy or getting STDs, but just learning in general. Uh, so yeah, it's not all bad. But I want to get on to semen retention. That's the next topic. And as I was alluding to before, I loved sex. What it was, I had a girlfriend, of course, so her and I loved it with her too. But in general, I hooked up a lot. I was just spraying my seed everywhere, man. I was a soccer player in high school too, so like how things go, like the typical, especially in American school, where it's like you play for you play for the varsity team, varsity being just like the first team as opposed to the second team. They had varsity and junior varsity, JV and varsity. Now, I'm not blaming that, but I'm saying the culture with that. If you're doing that, if you're somewhat popular, I'm not trying to blow my own horn or anything, but these are really some of the reasons as to why I lost control with what I perceived as being thrown at me. A black boy coming out of South Africa into a new environment that he never even thought was possible. It was just a dream, a mere dream. Getting there and realizing, oh, these girls actually see me like that? Like I have a chance? Okay. You can get caught up in that, and this is not a new story. It happens, even, yeah, it happens all throughout society. Now, I'm saying that was my big thing. Plus, I just enjoyed it. I didn't see what was wrong with me just spraying my seed everywhere, sharing my life force energy with everyone, and that's what many ancient and even current religious teachings, religious systems rather, starting from the Taoist, spelled Taoist in some in English, but those are ancient Chinese. It's ancient Chinese tradition. They already believe that within our sperm is our semen, rather, is our life force energy. Life force energy necessary to actually create a baby. Of course, when it meets the egg, the female's egg, it can make the baby. But the point is, they recognize from a early stage rather already, that there's a lot of power in semen beyond just for recreational purposes, reproductive purposes. Sorry. Now, before I go on, this isn't something new. We know boxers or fighters or most sports players, before they go on to big tournaments or even preparing for big games, they are actually not allowed to partake in any sexual activity. Even in high school when I played soccer, we were not allowed to, but they couldn't really enforce that. We didn't listen. We were ignorant. We didn't know better. But for any high performance sport, or yeah, mainly sport, but even Steve Jobs the other day, I heard when he was busy, getting Apple up and running. I know he was married and everything, but apparently he also had an arrangement with his wife regarding not regarding retaining his semen, because he understood at the time that he was a lot more productive when he was not ejaculating. Um, he had a lot more of that life force energy, whatever you want to call it. Uh, in Hinduism, prana, that life force energy. In Chinese tradition, chi. When they do Tai Chi, the chi is in here. Egyptian tradition, they call it ki. But ultimately, it's the same all around. I'm not sure what other traditions call it, but that life force energy has been understood to be flowing throughout our bodies and exiting our bodies whenever we do ejaculate. I mean, Let me give you this example. Have any of you ever noticed how as soon as you're done, if you're watching porn, whatever it is, or if you're, you're having sex with your partner, that you, you, as soon as you ejaculate, you, as the man, you get weak, and the girl gets all invigorated, man. Like she has all of your energy, man. Like might even take on your personality, like if you do it like often enough, So this is a real thing. I know guys are just like right after they personal experience. Obviously, I haven't asked them this, but I know it's common. Where you ejaculate, and all you want to do is curl up into a ball, dog, and just like sleep. Tell me that's coincidence. There's so much energy in that. We don't see that. Now that energy that is within your semen is the same within that semen, which gets converted into energy when reabsorbed by the body. Sorry, I had to be more concise and precise about that. But there's also other vitamins and minerals, things trapped in there, things that your body gets and converts from food. Whether it be your potassium, your iron, your zinc, your magnesium, whatever. You know what I'm referring to. That all gets reabsorbed into your body if you don't release it over time, and you can essentially perform higher at a higher level no matter what you do, whether it's sports, whether it's business, whether it's you're creative, making music. Yeah, musicians practice this too. Search it up. Semen retention. So my point is that there's a lot more to it in that semen than just your sperm. There's the minerals, vitamins, and ultimately, when it gets reabsorbed, the body can even use that as testosterone. So we know that any man gets stronger, is more masculine, more, just in touch with his manly side whenever he does have higher levels of testosterone. Now, I wanted to say that a big part, now I've been, first of all, retaining since December. I actually heard about semen retention from Joey Badass, the rapper. Thought he was crazy, It was an interview. I forgot. Is it Lip Service? Angela Yee's Lip Service? Maybe something like that. I thought it was crazy. But I thought, you know what? Let me try this thing. I'm mentioning this because, I was just letting my life force energy go out everywhere before then. And I realized, like, as I said, every girl that I ever had sex with, like, afterwards, like, she's got so much of my energy, man. She probably took it. It's crazy. And I'll go into more detail about that on further videos. But just try and think back, if you're a dude, whether that sounds accurate. If you're a girl, whether you can relate, like, to the guy ejaculating, being weak, you receiving it, and being stronger, more invigorated, energized afterwards. Some real shit, man, to be honest. Now, since I've been on the semen retention, it's been about 3 months and a week or two now. It took a while for me to actually realize the effects of it. It definitely wasn't a week, definitely wasn't 2. But one of the biggest impacts of it is this sort of, I've already explained, this infinite sense of vitality, energy to pursue things that perhaps you thought were too mammoth of tasks before to do. Even me starting this simple YouTube channel, before this was something, I was only thinking straight and narrow. I went to law school, I want to be a lawyer, that's all I'm going to look for. I need articles of clerkship, or I want to be an advocate. Like, I was only thinking one way, like anyone pursuing the hustles in other ways, like something like YouTube was just way off the radar. I'm like, didn't even make sense. But on the semen retention journey, it's almost like so much has gotten rewired. Of course, I'm combining this. So it hasn't been semen retention alone. I spoke about the physical transformation at first, which has been combined with this semen retention, which has been more feeding my spiritual side of things, because I feel as a result of it, I've clearly been cutting out impure thoughts. I'm not thinking about porn. I'm not thinking about when I walk down the street, or when I see a fly ass hun drive by. I'm not imagining her with with her pants or shirt off, like immediately, just thinking about sex all the time. And I think that's the biggest thing that keeps us men vibrating so low on a daily basis. Is all we're thinking about is our pleasure, like. And I think girls know this too. I mean, society is just in tune with it. They also dress in a way that makes us lustful and all that, but semen retention is exactly the tool that I needed to actually take back that power, harness, just my real full self, man. I'd like to say gaining a higher level of consciousness, because if you learn anything about your chakras too, your root chakra, which is right down below your navel, is the one that's concerned with pleasure, security, protection. Basically, the chakra that is involved with us humans thinking about, sex, basically, reproduction, overall. That's protection, pleasure, and that's where most men reside all day. But the highest chakra is up here, your crown chakra, and it's so difficult to get there when you are focused on only that. You'll miss out on so much valuable conversations with females if all you're thinking about is, oh, that dirty ass position I saw on a video. That stuff's actually low-key demonic, man. Because to a certain point, you watch that stuff so much, you don't actually see a human when you interact. Only to a certain point. You might just act like the girl's a human, it's just to get into her pants, so you speak to her like that. But in your mind, all you're thinking is, oh my god, I need to get to that, I need to get to that. So that's a big problem for me, with porn and what it does. I feel like that's a big problem. Now, a lot of people don't even need porn, they just want to touch themselves and ejaculate. That too is a problem. Like, why are you doing that? That's weird. Just spilling your semen out there on the floor in a sock in your bed, like, why? It has a purpose, man. Don't waste it. It's your life force energy. It seems infinite, but it's limited. I feel like this is probably one of the big reasons that many men, as well, at a relatively young age, by that I mean 35 to 45, already infertile these days. You didn't hear about this like hundreds of years ago. Back in biblical times, it wasn't a thing. Anyway, another thing that I wanted to talk about is with the semen retention, as a result of not being so rooted in my root chakra, no pun intended, I've actually been able to listen clear, because of the clear-mindedness, the clarity of thought. I've actually been able to listen to what I believe is God's guiding hand over my life as to what to do with my gifts, and where to not focus so much on my gifts and focus on where I have most impact, and hence I started this YouTube channel, because I feel that I have something to say, and I want a broad audience to hear this, It's not for likes, it's not for views. I would be happy at this point if I got 10 views a day. That's like, whoa. But for a lot of people, it's nothing. It's small boy business, and that's fine. But for me, I know the power of YouTube and how far across the world you can reach if you just find the right tribe, the right community, What else? So, yeah, on the semen, another major benefit on the semen retention has been this magnetism. If you're retaining all of your energy, like people who are more higher, let me put it, people who are more intuitive, and that's women in general. The women are more intuitive than men, just in general from a younger age. They're just built that way. I feel like that the women can almost sense that, I can see this guy has not been just releasing his energy everywhere. He walks different. He's so comfortable in his energy, He's not slumped over. He's not having multiple thoughts in the back of his mind that's keeping him from even being in the present moment, to the point where he can't even say hello to me, just comfortable. And you'll find that on this journey, like as you make your way into the first month or 2 months of semen retention, where your magnetism will be so strong, dog, that you're like women of all ages, whether it be little girls in a park setting, happened to me yesterday, or old women coming by the shop to buy their groceries, will just swarm around you almost as I need to be. What is it about this dude? It's not the look. It's definitely not the height. I'm pretty short dude, but there's something about the energy that they sort of want. It can be scary if you're not aware of what's going on. You'll just feel like, oh my goodness, people are just crowding me with all the energies, and it can be too much. Luckily, I was aware of what it was, and sort of, I just embraced it now, because now there's so much room for like improvement and learning every day. Because now, like I mentioned earlier, I'm having conversations with an old lady, and that's nothing to do. Well, obviously, old lady, I'm not attracted to her like that. But whichever woman comes my way to have any conversation, it's like now there's not even that like worry of like, oh, could this be awkward? What if she says some weird, inappropriate shit? It's just like, no, I can learn something here. We can share. Man, someone came up to me, old lady, and we just get that straight to the point. And she was like, "Yo, I'm farming chickens, and so I'm in the poultry business as well. Poultry business. I sell eggs as well. This is like something that I'd be interested in, but I feel like these random conversations just didn't come to me before. Maybe because I was so caught up like in my lower consciousness, my lower being, that I didn't even seem like someone who could be approached to have a conversation like that, if you know what I mean. So another example is just chilling with some of the guys from around this neighborhood at the park yesterday, and man, we're relaxing, you know. Just straight up chilling 420 times, you know what I mean. And there's these three little girls who stop by and go on. One wants to go into the swing. One is very young. The other two are a bit older, but they're all still young kids. They're playing in the park, and we're just sitting there. And it's something about it. And the girl comes closer and slides down the swing. I just smile and say, "Well done," And there's something about them just coming there in the first place, and then as they stay there, just asking random questions like, can I touch your, can I have some of your water, or can I touch your hair, or whatever, meanwhile I was talking about semen retention to the dudes that I was with, and explaining the whole magnetic effect of it. So as this is happening, they're like staring at me like low-key in disbelief, not trying to make it obvious or weird, but they're like, oh wow, so this guy is telling the truth. So that happens. A few minutes later, we're still chilled. These girls leave, they come back. This time they have their own water bottles, cute, trying to imitate us as the elders. Because I'm always walking with this, like everywhere I go. Can't leave without it. I can't leave without it, man. Agua. But anyway, they come back, and it's just that I felt that there was just that this. They probably didn't understand it too, but there's just something that's pulling them into there, and I feel like they could sense that this person is full of life. This person is not a threat. This person is vibrating high, because they didn't speak to the guys that were next to me. The guys next to me didn't speak to them either, I low-key feel that they were very rooted in their root chakra, because as women are walking by, all they're thinking about is, that girl looks hot, man. Oh my god, bro, you see that ass? And I'm just like, bro, relax. Like that, that's me before, so I can't relate to that anymore. Like, it's just not, I find that a little bit lame, man. I mean, we should all appreciate women for what they are, but like to be like headless chickens the whole time as each one walks by, you kind of look like thirsty, and that's not, I don't want a thirsty girl. I'm sure no girl wants a thirsty dude either. So the point is, a few minutes later, some older lady walks by, and it's the same thing. So, you guys are having a good time here relaxing in the sun? Oh, yeah, man. Yeah. Very, 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 cordial small talk that people normally make as they walk by, but like um, the lady just wanted to talk, and again, I'm the one having a conversation with her and everything, and it's just good vibes, man. Like uh, I have always been a social person and all that, but just the fact that not by coincidence and in sequence, like in short, few minutes after each other, these people just stopped by. So it's that lady, and then a few minutes later, there's let's say a few minutes, let's say 15 minutes later, after these girls had left, I think there've been people who, some of the people like from surrounding areas, surrounding houses around the park, who have been, I guess, observing us and interactions with these little kids. So a few minutes later, some woman, like another woman, comes and brings her son to swing on the, what do you call that thing? Roundabouts? You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. She comes to bring her child there, and it's the same thing. Like, she doesn't say much, but it's just this gaze, staring in our direction as she's spinning around that thing with her child. Like probably being pulled in by that magnetism, not even understanding. Like, yo, what is it? Like, why is this? What is it about this dude that makes me want to, like go towards him? It's the same thing with the old crush, who stays behind, next to the park, but behind where I was sitting. Her father was out doing the garden, as always. Beautiful house that they have there, by the way. Father is out there in the garden, and you can feel when someone is staring at you from behind. I turn around, and do I not see the same girl who I, a few months ago, was macking on? Man, it didn't really go anywhere. There's always, I'm like, oh, I'm trying to chill. Like, yo, let's, you free? And this day, let's just do this and this, like, casually. Let's just chill, let's talk. So I don't know you like that, but I found you attractive enough to, ask for your number when I did see you out in the park. But anyway, that never materialized, and, I'm a no bullshit dude, man. If I feel like, yo, there's no good intentions or no intentions at all, and we're wasting each other's time even more, yo, I'm gonna delete that number. So I did that as the whole point. And it's been for 4 months since I'd seen or spoken to this person, since November. So yesterday, being on 3 months of semen retention, shortly after each other, all these things happened. Saw that girl there. I didn't pay much mind to it because I really do want to start attracting what I want more and not be chasing so much. I really believe that if not already, I'm turning out or trying to become a very high value male, and in order to do that, a lot of these beta male habits are gonna have to fall away, And I hope that you see this is not in a toxic way at all. It's just that I feel that there are certain positions for men, not positions, but there is a way to be a man and there's a way to be a woman. This new world has got men trying to be women, women trying to be men, and that's where things get messed up, like long term. This, for me, the semen retention journey didn't start off as that. It was just more of like cleansing my spirit from these evil things that I was manifesting here that made me want to release my semen, touch myself. So I cleared that up, and then I realized, like, holy shit, I'm actually becoming more in tune with my God-given purpose and just my higher consciousness, and ultimately my inner child, who I always was. I was always a person who liked to touch people, speak to people, touch people by, not physically here, I mean, touch them through my words, spread my message. And I feel like I'm slowly getting back to that, and the semen retention, man, it's major for men. I'm definitely going to make more videos about that, just explaining everything. But for now, yeah, I want to just say shout out to all of you if you've actually listened to this point. It's 40 minutes later. I appreciate you so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe down below, please, so you can get daily content. But also, I would like this channel to slowly garner a followership, but then be able to be put into the algorithm so that other people, beyond just my small social circle can get access to these videos, and that's the only way we can do it. Also, please let me know what you would like to probe into about my journey. Any more questions? Otherwise, I'm just gonna go off daily of my developments and thoughts on semen retention, spirituality, fitness, mental health, and emotional work. I'll just speak on that if you guys don't give me any feedback or even constructive criticism. But I'm just trying to say that I value that, I welcome it actually. Please, please, please bring it on. Yeah, this is a channel where we evolve daily, holistically. We try to be better, you know. By trying to be better, we acknowledge where we are in the present moment and just evolve, man. Shout out to all of you for listening. I appreciate you, and catch you in the next video. Bye.